What does it take to survive the impossible? A frog freezes solid and thaws alive. A goat clings to cliffs where one slip means death. A flamingo wades through lakes so toxic they would burn your skin. A leopard hunts in the highest mountains, unseen and untouchable. A goose flies over the roof of the world, over Everest itself. These aren't fantasy creatures. They're real animals that have chosen the hardest places on Earth and refuse to leave. From minus 60 degrees Celsius in Antarctica to 50 degrees Celsius in the Sahara. From the crushing depths of the ocean to the thin air of the highest peaks. This is the story of 20 animals that looked at death and said, "Not today." Number 20. Mountain goat. But if you want to see an animal that defies gravity itself, look west. The Rocky Mountains are a place of vertical extremes. Cliffs rise almost straight from the earth. A single slip means a 1,000-foot fall. And yet, the mountain goat walks these walls with the casual confidence of a creature that has never known fear. At 4,000 meters, temperatures hit minus 46 degrees Celsius. The wind whips ice across the rocks. But the mountain goat doesn't retreat to lower ground. It stays where it belongs. Its hooves are the key. They are cloven, split into 2 toes, and each toe has a rough, rubbery pad that grips rock like a climbing shoe. The hooves spread wide, distributing the goat's weight across tiny ledges. On ice, they clamp down like mechanical claws. It can stand on a ledge the size of a coin, and its coat, a double-layered furnace. The thick undercoat traps heat. The coarse outer layer sheds snow and water. At minus 46 degrees Celsius, the goat simply stands still, letting the coat do its work. The mountain goat doesn't fight the cliff. It belongs where others would fall. Number 19. Wood frog. A frog sits motionless in the Alaskan forest. Ice crystals creep through its veins. Its heart has stopped. Its brain shows no activity. For all practical purposes, it is dead. But in a few months, when the snow melts, it will hop away. This is the wood frog. When winter arrives and temperatures crash to minus 16 degrees Celsius, the frog doesn't migrate. It doesn't burrow. It simply freezes. Up to 70% of its body water turns to ice. Blood stops flowing. Breathing ceases. By every biological measure, the frog is dead. But it isn't. The wood frog's liver floods its cells with glucose and urea. This syrupy mixture acts as a natural antifreeze. It prevents ice from forming inside the cells themselves. The ice stays outside in the body cavities. The organs freeze. The blood turns to slush, but the cells remain intact. When spring arrives, the frog thaws from the inside out. Its heart remembers how to beat. Its brain flickers back to life. Within hours, it's hopping around as if nothing happened. The wood frog hasn't cheated death. It simply learned to press pause on life itself. Number 18. Andean flamingo. From the frozen forests of Alaska, let's travel south to the high Andes. A world of salt flats, toxic lakes, and thin, freezing air. At 4,000 meters, oxygen is scarce. The wind never stops. And yet, a pink bird dances through it all. The Andean flamingo. Most flamingos live in warm lagoons. This one thrives in lakes filled with arsenic, borax, and other minerals that would poison a human within hours. The water is so alkaline, it burns exposed skin. The flamingo survives anyway. Its skin is thick, tough enough to withstand the corrosive salts. Its beak is a specialized filter designed to separate toxic blue-green algae from the water. That algae is its food, the same stuff that kills other animals. And when the high-altitude cold becomes unbearable, the flamingo simply leaves. It migrates to lower, warmer lakes for a while, then returns when conditions improve. It doesn't fight the mountain, it works around it. The Andean flamingo knows when to stay and when to go. But if you want to see true defiance of nature, you have to go deeper, much deeper. Let's drop into the Southern Ocean, where a fish swims with clear blood in waters that should freeze it solid. Number 17. Antarctic ice fish. The Southern Ocean is a place of impossible cold. At minus 1.9 degrees Celsius, the water sits below freezing. Any ordinary fish would turn to ice within seconds, but the Antarctic ice fish has no intention of freezing. It swims through this frozen world with blood so clear you could read a newspaper through it. No red blood cells, no hemoglobin, nothing that gives blood its familiar color. Instead, oxygen dissolves directly into its plasma, turning its veins into ghostly streams of transparent fluid. You can see its heart beating through its own skin. That alone is strange enough. enough. But there's more. The ice fish produces antifreeze glycoproteins, tiny molecules that patrol its bloodstream. When ice crystals begin to form, these proteins attach themselves to the crystals and stop them from growing. The ice never gets a chance to spread. Without red blood cells, the ice fish's blood is thinner and easier to pump. Its heart works less. It conserves energy in a place where every calorie is precious. The ice fish didn't evolve to fight the cold. It evolved to live with it, to make the cold work for it. But what if the cold wasn't the biggest threat? What if the real challenge was a mountain so high that the air itself became a weapon? Number 16. Wild yak. At 6,000 meters above sea level, oxygen is a luxury. The air is so thin that helicopters can barely hover. Humans gasp for breath and often collapse, but the wild yak stands tall on the Tibetan plateau, its shaggy coat dusted with snow, and breathes as if it were at sea level. The yak's secret is in its lungs and blood. Its lungs are massive, larger than any other bovine's. Its red blood cells are smaller, but more numerous, packed into its bloodstream like tiny delivery trucks, each one carrying oxygen to every corner of its body. Its heart pumps powerfully, moving oxygen-rich blood through a body built to conserve heat in minus 40 degrees Celsius winds. But there's more. The yak's metabolism is incredibly slow. It burns energy at a fraction of the rate that most animals do. When food is scarce, and on the Tibetan plateau, food is always scarce, it simply doesn't need as much. It wastes nothing. And its coat? It's so dense that snow sits on top of it without melting. The yak stands in blizzards without shivering. Number 15. Arctic fox. Let's head to the frozen Arctic. A white shape moves across the frozen tundra. It leaves no tracks, makes no sound. Against the endless snow, it is invisible. This is the Arctic fox, a creature that has turned the Arctic's brutality into its greatest advantage. Temperatures here drop to minus 50 degrees Celsius. Exposed skin freezes in seconds. The wind scours the landscape, leaving nothing but ice and rock. Most animals would die within hours. The Arctic fox thrives. Its secret is its coat. No animal in the Arctic has thicker fur. The dense underlayer traps heat so effectively that the fox rarely shivers. Its compact body minimizes heat loss. Its short ears and muzzle reduce the surface area exposed to the cold. Every feature is designed for one purpose, staying warm. But the real trick is invisibility. In winter, the fox is pure white, blending into the snow. In summer, its fur turns brown and gray, matching the rocky tundra. It doesn't just survive the cold, it disappears into it. But if you think the cold is brutal, wait until you feel the heat. Number 14. Fat-tailed scorpion. The Middle Eastern desert is a place of brutal extremes. By day, the temperature soars past 50 degrees Celsius. The sand burns, the air shimmers, nothing moves, everything hides, including the fat-tailed scorpion. Buried deep beneath the surface, it waits. The soil stays cool just a few inches down. The scorpion doesn't fight the heat. It avoids it entirely, emerging only when the sun goes down and the desert cools. When night falls, the fat-tailed scorpion becomes a hunter. Its venom is among the most potent in the world, a neurotoxin that can kill a human within hours. It uses that venom not for defense, but for hunting. Prey much larger than itself falls to a single sting. But here's what makes this creature truly remarkable. It doesn't waste energy. It moves slowly. It strikes only when necessary. But if you think the desert is dangerous, wait until you meet the ghost of the Himalayas. Number 13. Snow leopard. The Himalayas are not a place for the careless. At 4,000 meters, the air is thin. The rocks are treacherous. The cold cuts through fur and flesh. And somewhere in this frozen wasteland, a ghost moves silently across the cliffs. The snow leopard. Its fur is thick, thicker than any other big cat's. Each hair traps heat, protecting against minus 40 degrees Celsius winds. Its paws are wide, spreading its weight like snowshoes so it doesn't sink into the drifts. Its tail is long and muscular, a counterbalance that lets it navigate the narrowest ledges without falling. But the real weapon is invisibility. Its spotted coat blends perfectly with the gray and white of the Rocky Mountains. It can approach prey within meters without being seen. By the time the prey notices, it's too late. The snow leopard doesn't chase, it stalks, it waits, it moves when the moment is right. In the Himalayas, energy is precious. One mistake means starvation. The snow leopard rarely makes mistakes. It is the ghost of the mountains, and ghosts don't get caught. But if you want to see an animal that flies higher than any other bird on Earth, look up. Number 12. Bar-headed goose. The Himalayas rise above the clouds. At 7,000 meters, the air is so thin that helicopters struggle to hover. Humans need oxygen tanks just to breathe. And yet, every year, a bird flies straight through this death zone without hesitation. The bar-headed goose, it migrates over the highest mountain range on Earth, crossing Everest itself. At these altitudes, oxygen levels are barely a third of what they are at sea level. Most animals would lose consciousness within minutes. The goose doesn't even slow down. Its secret is in its blood. The bar-headed goose has specialized hemoglobin, the protein that carries oxygen through the body. This hemoglobin binds to oxygen more tightly than any other bird's. Every breath delivers maximum oxygen to its muscles. It can extract oxygen from air that would leave other animals gasping. And it doesn't flap frantically. It rides the winds, using rising air currents to glide through passes, conserving energy for the journey ahead. The bar-headed goose doesn't just survive the highest mountains. It treats them as a minor inconvenience on its way to warmer weather. Number 11. Emperor penguin. But if you want to see an animal that doesn't just pass through the cold but lives in it year-round, we need to go to the bottom of the world. Antarctica, the coldest place on Earth. Winter temperatures plummet to minus 60 degrees Celsius. The wind howls at over 100 miles per hour. The sun disappears for months. Nothing should survive here. And yet, the emperor penguin stays. It doesn't migrate. It doesn't hibernate. It stands on the ice through the worst winter on the planet and raises its young. The emperor penguin's feathers are denser than any other bird's. A thick layer of blubber sits beneath the skin. But the real secret is the huddle. Thousands of penguins press together, rotating positions so each one takes a turn in the warm center. The outer ones bear the brunt of the wind. The inner ones stay warm. Everyone takes their turn. Inside the huddle, temperatures can reach 37 degrees Celsius, even when the outside air is minus 60 degrees Celsius. The penguins shuffle constantly, each one moving toward the warmth, ensuring that no single bird freezes. They don't eat for months. The males fast while incubating the eggs, losing up to half their body weight. They wait, they endure, they survive. Number 10. Reindeer. The Arctic tundra stretches endlessly in every direction. Snow covers the ground for most of the year. Temperatures drop to minus 40 degrees Celsius. Food is scarce. And yet, the reindeer doesn't just survive here, it thrives. It migrates farther than any other land animal on Earth, covering thousands of miles across this frozen wasteland. The reindeer's secret is in its nose. Cold air enters through the nostrils and passes through a network of blood vessels before reaching the lungs. Those vessels warm the air to body temperature, preventing heat loss with every breath. The reindeer breathes in freezing air and breathes out warmth, but that's only the beginning. Its coat is made of hollow hairs that trap air, creating a layer of insulation so effective that snow sits on top of it without melting. Its hooves change with the seasons, soft and spongy in summer for traction on wet ground, hard and sharp in winter for gripping ice. It digs through snow with its hooves to find lichen, its primary winter food. Number 9. Arctic hare. A blur of white against a frozen sea, the Arctic hare moves across the tundra in bursts of speed, its body low to the ground, its ears flat against its skull. Behind it, a wolf gives chase. The hare zigzags. The wolf stumbles. The hare disappears into the white nothingness. The Arctic hare has mastered the art of survival in the harshest place on Earth. Its fur is some of the thickest in the Arctic. It grows in dense layers, trapping heat against its body. Its compact shape minimizes heat loss. Its short ears reduce the surface area exposed to the cold. When temperatures drop to minus 40 degrees Celsius, the hare simply sits still and lets its coat do the work. But the real trick is camouflage. In winter, the hare is pure white, invisible against the snow. In summer, its fur turns brown and gray, blending with the rocky tundra. It changes with the seasons, becoming whatever the landscape needs it to be. And when danger comes, it runs. The Arctic hare can reach speeds of 60 kilometers per hour, zigzagging across the snow, leaving predators in its wake. Number 8. Desert horned lizard. The North American desert is a furnace. Temperatures soar past 45 degrees Celsius. The sun beats down without mercy. Water is almost non-existent. Most animals hide in burrows or come out only at night. But one creature sits on the open sand, waiting for danger: the desert horned lizard. When a predator approaches, a snake, a coyote, a fox, the lizard doesn't run. It doesn't hide. It does something so strange that predators often stop in their tracks. It shoots blood from its eyes. The lizard constricts the blood vessels around its eyes, building pressure until the blood bursts out in a stream aimed directly at the attacker. The blood contains a foul-tasting chemical that irritates the predator's mouth and sends it fleeing. It's not a trick. It's a defense mechanism so bizarre that scientists still aren't entirely sure how it evolved. Number 7. Addax antelope. The Sahara is not a place for the weak. Sand dunes stretch for hundreds of miles. Temperatures hit 48 degrees Celsius. Rain falls once every few years. Water is a memory. Most animals die here within days. But the addax antelope doesn't just survive, it thrives where nothing else can. This antelope has a white coat that reflects the sun's heat, keeping its body cool. Its urine is highly concentrated. Its feces are dry. Every drop of water is recycled. But here's the most remarkable thing. It doesn't drink water. The addax gets all the moisture it needs from the sparse vegetation it eats: seeds, roots, dry leaves. These contain enough water to sustain the antelope for 10 months without a single drink. During the heat of the day, the addax rests in the shade of rocks. At night, it moves, traveling miles in search of food. Its broad hooves spread its weight across the sand, preventing it from sinking. Number 6. Snailfish. The deepest parts of the ocean are not a place for the living. Sunlight never reaches these depths. The temperature hovers just above freezing, and the pressure, 800 times greater than at sea level, would crush a human instantly. Yet the snailfish swims through this abyss as if it were a shallow pond. The snailfish lives deeper than any other fish on Earth, up to 8,000 meters below the surface. At this depth, most animals would be flattened to nothing, but the snailfish has no bones to break. Its body is soft and gelatinous, filled mostly with water. Water doesn't compress under pressure. The snailfish simply becomes part of its environment. It also has no swim bladder, the gas-filled organ that most fish use to stay afloat. At these depths, a swim bladder would collapse. Instead, the snailfish uses its jelly-like body to maintain neutral buoyancy. Its teeth are sharp, but its movements are slow. Energy is precious at the bottom of the world. The snailfish conserves everything. Number 5. Andean condor. The Andes Mountains rise like a wall between the sky and the earth. At 5,000 meters, the air is thin. The wind howls through the peaks. Most birds struggle to stay aloft, but the Andean condor doesn't struggle. It soars. This bird has the largest wingspan of any flying bird on Earth, up to 3.3 meters. Its wings are broad and powerful, designed not for flapping, but for gliding. It rides thermal updrafts, columns of warm air rising from the mountains, gaining altitude without a single wing beat. It can soar for hours, covering hundreds of miles, with almost no effort. The condor's feathers are dark, absorbing heat from the sun. Its bald head and neck prevent feathers from becoming matted with blood when it feeds, and it feeds on death. The condor is a scavenger, searching for carcasses across the vast mountain landscape. It doesn't fight the wind, it uses it. It turns the mountain's fury into its own advantage. Number 4. Kangaroo rat. The North American desert is a place of thirst. Water holes are rare. Rain is a distant memory. Most animals spend their lives searching for the next drink, but the kangaroo rat has never taken a sip of water in its entire life. It doesn't need to. This tiny creature gets all the moisture it needs from the seeds it eats. Its body extracts water from the dry seeds, converting carbohydrates into metabolic water through digestion. Every seed becomes a tiny reservoir. Every meal becomes a drink. But the kangaroo rat's efficiency doesn't stop there. Its kidneys are among the most concentrated in the animal kingdom. Its urine is nearly solid. It loses almost no water, and it never sweats. It stays in its burrow during the heat of the day, emerging only at night when the desert cools. Number 3. Polar bear. The Arctic is a kingdom of ice and silence. Temperatures drop to minus 45 degrees Celsius. The wind never stops. The sun vanishes for months. And at the top of this frozen world stands the largest land predator on Earth, the polar bear. It doesn't hide from the cold. It wears it. Its blubber is up to 4 inches thick, a layer of pure insulation that keeps its body warm while the world around it freezes. Its fur isn't white, it's transparent. Each hollow hair traps air, creating a personal greenhouse against the brutal cold. And beneath that fur, its skin is black, absorbing whatever heat the sun offers. The polar bear's paws are massive, spreading its weight across thin ice. Its claws grip the surface, preventing slips. It can swim for miles in water so cold that most animals would die within minutes. But here's the truth. The polar bear's world is disappearing. The ice melts beneath its paws. The seals it hunts grow scarcer. The cold, once its greatest ally, is becoming its greatest threat. Number 2. Meerkat. The Kalahari Desert is a land of extremes. By day, the sun turns the sand into an oven. Temperatures soar past 45 degrees Celsius. Water is scarce. Predators roam everywhere. Most animals survive by hiding, but the meerkat survives by sticking together. These tiny creatures have mastered the art of community. They dig deep burrows that stay cool even during the hottest part of the day. A network of tunnels and chambers that provide shelter from the heat. When the sun rises, the entire colony emerges, stretching and yawning in the morning light. But survival requires more than just shelter. It requires teamwork. One meerkat stands guard while the rest forage, scanning the sky and the ground for predators. When danger approaches, it lets out a sharp bark. The entire colony vanishes into the burrow in seconds. The meerkat doesn't hunt alone. It doesn't raise its young alone. It doesn't survive alone. Number 1. Vicuña. The high Andes are a place of bitter winds and thin air. At 4,500 meters, the temperature drops to minus 15 degrees Celsius. The wind cuts through fur and flesh. Most animals struggle to stay warm, but the vicuña stands motionless on the rocky slopes, its coat shielding it from the cold. This animal produces the finest, warmest wool on Earth. Its fleece is so dense and insulating that the ancient Incas called it the fleece of the gods. Only the vicuña's royal relatives, the alpacas and llamas, can claim a similar coat, but none match the vicuña's warmth. The vicuña's wool is incredibly fine. Each strand is just 12 to 14 microns thick, compared to 20 microns for the softest cashmere. This density traps heat against the animal's body, protecting it from the freezing mountain winds. In the days of the Inca Empire, only royalty could wear vicuña wool. Today, the vicuña is protected from poaching. Its wool is still one of the most expensive materials in the world. A single kilogram can fetch over $3,000. That is it for today. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible animal stories. And let me know in the comments, which of these animals amazed you the most? Thank you for watching.